I started writing the business plan and the concepts for the company in 1990, late 1994.
How to look young, right? Like you have run one of the biggest cosmetic companies.
Get plenty of sleep, which is hard to do when you're working so many hours. But I will tell you, Ashay, that during COVID, I actually learned to sleep. I made myself, we eat well, we eat healthy, we eat organic whenever possible.
And Johnny, tell us about like how was your experience at the Peter's Platinum event?
Every time I get around you and those men and President Trump and all the movers and shakers, I just have to pinch myself thinking, is this real? These people are so brilliant.
What advice like you will tell for the young people why it is so important to master like sales, psychology, and like persuasion and become good at like presentation skills?
Well, as we know today, everything's about presentation because there's so much competition. And if I were starting over again, I would probably go into marketing and communications. Because if you can properly communicate and market whatever it is, product, service that you are representing, more than likely you're going to be ahead of the pack.
Hey everyone, welcome to Real Knowledge Club Summit. Today we have one of the truly a trailblazer, visionary entrepreneur, one of the most remarkable women entrepreneurs I have seen, who is the founder and CEO and chairwoman of SeneGence, one of the world's biggest companies which specialize in cosmetics and skincare products for like women. And she has built one of the most amazing company from scratch, and today it's valued over $1 billion. Today you will be learning exactly what is the mindset, skill set, tool set, how you can create $1 billion enterprise, longevity, how you can live for 100 years and above, how you can look young, all the incredible things from none other than Joni Rogers, right? Who is also the author of like the $1 Million Lips book, and she has revolutionized, she has innovated 300 plus companies with over 100 million units sold, 8 million units globally fulfilled, right? And she has impacted so many people. She has brought in change in so many women's lives in the beauty industry beyond nothing short of like a legendary. She is a dreamer, disruptor, and a doer. Also, she was the speaker at the X Prize Foundation, the world's largest foundation for the last 30 years. They have done some of the biggest 30 prizes in the world, in fact, where Elon Musk, Peter Diamandis. In fact, I met Johnny in India last year in Bangalore and like New Delhi, thanks to like Peter Diamandis and the global HR event as well, right? And that's why I'm bringing to you so that you get to learn like the top 1% knowledge. And she has also met some of the most incredible people like the United States, the President Donald Trump, right? Without any further delay, let's welcome Joni to the Real Knowledge Club Summit.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Hi, Johnny. Thank you so much for taking your super valuable time. I am so thrilled and excited to have you with all of us.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Yeah. Uh, Johnny, I'm so curious to know about your journey, right? Like, how did you got started and how did you create such a big company like SeneGence, and which is right now such a big company and has impacting so many lives globally?
Mhm. It's as you people ask me that I have to reflect back and think about uh, uh, what makes sense. It's like the X Prize efforts. The people are trying to find solutions to everyday problems and to everyday challenges, and these challenges impact lives around the world, right? And that's what makes them so remarkable. Is that it seems like if you can sit down and think about, this is a problem, and it's always been a problem, and it's a problem not only for me but for hundreds of millions of people around the world. Why can't we find a solution to resolve this problem? Okay, so mine isn't about carbon emissions or flying rockets to the moon and back and reusing them. My problem as a woman was every time I put on my makeup and held my baby in my arms, my baby would play with my makeup and it would smear my makeup everywhere. And so as a woman, I'd have to take more time and remove my makeup and reapply makeup so I could go on with my day. And that's how simple it was. It was a simple problem that women all over the world had to deal with. And I thought to myself, why in the world can't someone figure out how to create color cosmetics that would stay on once you put them on in the morning? And if they're going to be on your skin all day long, they had to be good for your skin. And then, of course, you'd have to use something that was good for your skin to remove it. And that's how I came up with the challenge. It was a common, everyday challenge that every woman was faced with. And it took a very long time, of course, to find the solution, but eventually we got there.
Absolutely. Love that. Amazing. And I believe like you started your company in 1999, right? I believe I was just like 1 or 2 years old during that time. What inspired you, like as you told, like you had that problem and you wanted to fix it, right? And what inspired you to take it as a movement? And how did you identify your passion and obsession and like I have to focus on this problem and I want to change the world?
Well, everything that we do, as I'm sure you know, and as your guest, as Peter would say, everything we do throughout the course of our lifetime leads us up to a certain point where that when we have an opportunity to combine all the knowledge that we've been able to obtain and crystallize it into a great idea that if you found the solution to, it would be world changing, right? And so up to that point, I'm a single mother. And this thought had been running around in my mind for quite a while. And frankly, as a single mother, just on my own with my young son, I had nothing else to lose. I was looking for a job so that I could support he and I. But I knew that that's not really what I wanted to do. I didn't want to just do something that made money. I wanted to make sure that the time that I was putting forth, being away from my home, being away from my son, and actually uh, 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 earning some money so that I could pay my bills for he and I, that I was making a contribution that would help other women who were in the same boat. And so with that state of mind, I decided that I would take small part-time jobs, just earning enough money to, pay the bills and buy groceries. And in my spare time, I would spend all that I could learning about, excuse me, about color cosmetics, meeting with chemists. I use girlfriend miles to fly to various places in Europe and America, free mileage on airplanes, and set up appointments to talk to people about what this could be. And of course, a lot of it was just a dead end road until one day I met a chemist who thought, this sounds like something that I'm working on. This sounds like something that might be able to work with this tattoo um, uh, technology that he was starting to play with. And so together, once we finally met, and by the way, that journey was about 5 years. I started writing the business plan and the concepts for the company in late 1994. So as I was writing and learning and making calculations, and one answer would lead me to the next question, would lead me to the next person. All of that, I just kept doing it until finally we got to a point where we had a product and a plan that we thought could work in the marketplace.
Absolutely, absolutely love that. And Johnny, when it comes down to empowering women, right? And how did you come up? You want to become an entrepreneur, where you inherited like $1 billion from your family, or like you while you were starting out, you knew that like one day you are going to create $1 billion company, right? Because most of the women I see, like they tell, I cannot do it. How is it possible? It's a male dominated world, right? Whereas you've been there, you have created it. Can you tell us how did it happen?
Okay. Well, I certainly had no money. I was very poor as a single mother, and I was actually living with a girlfriend who was taking care of us. So I didn't have to pay rent at that point, but I was trying to earn money to buy groceries. Um, so I had worked in a male dominated world out of high school and in my early college years. I worked with my stepfather, who was building drugstores with a brand of stores called Save on Drugs. And I got to work side by side with him and his colleagues who were presidents like Twin Labs, Procter and Gamble, Colgate Palmolive. In those days, that's how those products were sold to consumers, through drugstores. And so I worked with him for many years, building from a slab of cement all the way up through grand opening days, many different drugstores to add to this chain. And during those years, while I was trying to study, I realized that these men who had CEO or presidential or vice president titles that worked for these companies were never home. They were out traveling with my dad building stores. They had families. They rarely saw their kids. They weren't having date nights with their wives because they were all working and traveling together. And I decided at that point in my early 20s that I could not compete in that world. I did not want to compete in that world because I knew that I wanted to be a wife and a mother. I wanted to be the one that would, decorate our home and would set the culture and the ambiance for our home and raise children. So once I realized that although ambitious, I did not want to work in that world at that level because I was not willing to give up, to make the sacrifices needed to earn the title and to earn that kind of money. Money wasn't really the issue, though. It was the accomplishment. It was the title. I looked elsewhere for other opportunities. And I would say at that point, that's when I knew I'd have to become an entrepreneur. And probably the first I ever really realized the meaning of an entrepreneur. But I didn't quite make that leap. What I did was I joined my very first direct sales company. It was called Mary Kay Cosmetics. And it was during a time when Mary Kay Ash, the founder of that cosmetic company and that direct sales company, was alive. So I had the opportunity to work with her. And I fell in love with the concept that you could not succeed in her company and in that structure unless you helped others succeed. And I thought, wow, what an amazing concept. The more people you help succeed, the more successful you become. And so as a young, ambitious, energetic executive at the time, I resigned from the corporate position I had working beside my dad, and I poured myself into this world of direct sales, learning how to be the master of my own ship, but using their product as the tool that allowed me to be the master of my own ship. And I just thought that was brilliant. Someone else did all the work, they did all the research, they did the packaging, they did the color selection. They even provided the marketing. All I had to do was do the work that was involved in helping to expand the brand within my sphere of influence, and I would earn money, the kind of money that was directly commensurate to the amount of time and effort that I put into my part of the deal, my part of the responsibility, which is marketing and branding the product and getting customers for the product. So I just thought how beautiful that whole thing was, because it allowed women from all walks of life to supplement their income, or to actually leave their jobs and do something from their home. I found that many women, many ambitious women, of course, Ashay, just like you're ambitious, I'm ambitious as a woman, we're surrounded by ambitious people.
Yes.
And at a very young age, we go to college or university, whichever you call it, and we decide upon a major, like let's just say a nurse or a doctor, an attorney. And we spend a lot of time and money as a very young person studying that topic, graduate, and then we go into that field. And especially, I have found for women that when they study something, they go into the field, and then they realize that to excel, you have to give up 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week within that field. There's not a lot of time to develop the other parts of your life that you'd like to explore, especially as a young woman. So I have found that many professionals who are, let's say, nurses, doctors, attorneys, get to a certain point where they decide it's not worth it. I would like to have children. And if I'm going to have children, I would like to help raise those children from my home. I don't want to hire someone else to raise my child. I would like to do it. But yet, I don't also want to give up my professional career. So these kind of women are looking for opportunities that allow them to learn to run and build a business from their home while raising their children. And that's what companies like mine make available to women. Of course, we're cosmetics, so we're very fun and shiny and colorful and blingy. You don't have to look conservative like this every day. We have lots of fun. We learn makeup artistry, and of course, we learn all the attributes that are needed to become successful entrepreneurs, while we decide how many hours we're going to work and when and where we're going to work, so that we can maintain our priorities. And for most of us, those priorities evolve around our family.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. You were on a mission to help women and like working women and the women who are staying in the house, how they can by creating a distribution, right? They can become part of it and like sell it and impact so many lives. Love that. And Johnny, tell us from your experience, right? How to basically set these goals, like the moonshot goals, and how to achieve it. Some of them tell like you have to set the SMART goals and everything. What is the framework like you will recommend everyone for this new year?
Well, that's interesting. In that, you know, I've worked with people who are very calculating, and map out every detail from A to Z. And it looks very good on paper. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my career was not that. It was not that because I think when you're a new entrepreneur, and I'm going to talk to those who are just beginning to learn entrepreneurial skills. I'm not going to talk to the serial entrepreneur, but the new entrepreneur, someone who has a new idea and a new concept, and they're just now putting it into play. You have to play a lot of it by ear. But here's the first thing. Anything, if you have an amazing product or service that you can offer individuals, if you can't sell or represent that service to your friend and then have your friend turn around and want to offer it to someone else without a lot of complicated education, more than likely you're going to have a much more challenging time in the marketplace making this product or service succeed. But when you have a product or a service that you offer to someone and that person is excited about it and they want to tell their friends about it just naturally and intuitively, now you've got something that you can really hold on to and begin to help shape as it takes life, as word gets around about its usage or its convenience, whatever it is. In our case, because it was the first patented long-lasting lip color, this is what it is. See, it doesn't come
Wow.
off. The
Oh
reason
my
why
God.
cosmetics don't come off when you now kiss your girlfriend or your mother or your wife is this patent paved the way for now all cosmetic companies around the globe to have long-lasting color that doesn't come off until you take it off. And
Oh, that's
it
brilliant.
changed the cosmetic industry, completely changed it. And people were so excited about it. But when you have a product that you can introduce into the marketplace that's exciting like that, and people want to talk about it, in our case, because I was poor, I just had a great idea. I did have a business plan, but we did not follow the business plan because I had no money. When you write a business plan, you're usually talking about all the funds that you need to invest in creating a finance department, putting all the IT structure together, manufacturing, packaging, PR, social media, all these things come together. In our case, because we had no money, we would make just a little bit and put them into some extra tubes that the chemist happened to have. I would sell those, and then I would pay him for the tubes and the formula, and then we'd use the extra money and buy a little more every week. We sold, we made more. We sold, we made more. We sold, we made more. The first year through that process, I sold $1.7 million worth of what our flagship product is, LipSense. It's called LipSense. Do I have a LipSense here? I don't have a LipSense right near me. That's very odd. Anyway, that we just kept reinvesting the profits. The following year, we went to, we doubled it to 3.4, 5.8, 27 million, 59 million in a single year, just on and on and on. And as we had the funds, then and only then could I hire the people, build the department, buy the raw materials, buy the components, stop hand filling and create a machine that actually filled high speed. Step by step by step, we put the business together based upon the need. So sometimes there's not a grand scheme of things other than we know what direction we need to head to. We know the pieces that need to be put together. But I use this example all the time. Had we not done it, had I not started selling the product until we had all those pieces together, we would not be here today. So my best advice to entrepreneurs, seasoned or not, is to don't forget, if you have a viable product that has a place in the marketplace, you will be able to raise the funds needed to build the kind of company you envision as you grow. It's almost impossible to have, in today's world, the kind of funding all together to put together a company that has all the pieces in it for where you want to end up. It's almost like you have to start small. Start where you're at, start smart. And here's another thing about our company. We never took out a loan, a business loan. We build, even today, on our own profits.
It's a bootstrapped company.
Right. We are not beholden to anyone. We're not beholden to a bank. We're debt-free. So trust me, as an owner, you can sleep better at night, debt-free, and you can scale up and scale down as the market requires.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And Joni, like you have been there, like you have started a bootstrapped company where everybody is telling I need to raise the funds from the VC, the venture capitalist, some investor, all those things, right? It's like if we have that dream and if we have that problem and the deep desire to solve, even with a bootstrapped company, like we can create $1 billion enterprise. I just love that. And Joni, from so many years of your success, right? If you were to tell what were the skills or like things which attributed to your success, what will be those things if you were to just tell 1, 2, 3, or 4, like a roadmap to the people who are aspiring to create something big?
You know, this is going to sound so rude, and I'm so sorry to say it, but it's true. I did not care what anyone else thought. I did not care. I was told when I tried to raise the money in the beginning from venture capitalists, from friends, from associates, from referrals, I would show them a sample of the product and a very thick business plan that I had written, well thought out business plan, and no one thought it would work. Mostly men. I talked to one female business venture capitalist, and she didn't wear makeup, and she didn't see the value in the product, and all the rest were. And I think I had 11 or 14 different appointments with venture capitalists. They all said no. They didn't think the world needed another lip color or another cosmetic line. So you know what? I just didn't care. I knew that the product that I was showing myself and my girlfriends had, an amazing, I guess, result where they were all just dying to get their hands on it. And so eventually, after failure after failure of trying to raise the money, because I thought that was the right thing to do, I finally just told the chemist, you know what? I can't do it. No one believes in this. I believe in it. I believe that we can create a whole line out of this. And he said, okay, I believe you can. So if you're willing to do the work, you can start small, just like we did, and just keep reinvesting, and build, based upon where it takes you. I mean, some people are very happy with $100 million company. I mean, they would say, oh my gosh, we've made it to the top with 100 million. Some people need $1 billion. Some people need 5 billion. I'm a $5 billion person. But you know what? I wouldn't have known that 25 years ago. 25 years ago, I was astounded that we sold 1.7 million the first year. So I think today, one of the good things is that if you don't care, if you know you have a good idea, don't let other people's opinions sway you or deter you from your goal. So stay laser focused on what it is you are trying to do until you satisfy at some point a place where you've tried in every way you know humanly possible and you prove to yourself it cannot be done. So that never happened to me. I would try different ways to do what I wanted to do, and it would work, but maybe it wouldn't work as well as I had anticipated. So in that way, I would try something else just to see how many different ways I could come up with that worked even better. So that was one thing. Don't let other people's opinions deter you. Number two, do the work yourself. Do not expect anyone else to do the work or to do it to a level of satisfaction that that you believe, or they won't do it to a level of satisfaction that would satisfy you. Usually, as an entrepreneur, so you're the one who has to do the work and lead the way. And oddly enough, as it turned out, not trying to avoid working those 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week. Well, as an entrepreneur, just throw that away because you're going to work those hours. It's going to require that you work those hours. But in my case, what happened was I got to bring my family along. So as our company was growing, I built classrooms in our office and hired professors and had my son come to work with me so he could go to class. And he was homeschooled basically, or business schooled, while I was at work. And that was amazing because he learned not only school, but he learned business. And he ran up and down the hallways and communicated with all our executives and, could drop in on any meeting that he wanted to, and just understand and learn what we were doing. So he had an exceptional education in that way. So you have to be willing to do the work, and it'll work out if your priorities are making sure your family is, front and center. You'll be able to do that because you're the boss. You're doing the work, you're making it happen. You'll be able to afford it based upon your priorities. I also met my husband through work, through my
Wow,
work. He
amazing.
came in to work on some projects, and he was so smart. I just never let him leave. And he and I have been together now for 25 years. I met him in the beginning, and we have been, lovers, playmates, world travelers, business partners, and personal partners, best friends for 25 years. We have another son who was born well within the creation of the company. He's now 17, getting ready to go off to college, and he's been just immersed in our world of building this business from the beginning. So we have two very well adjusted, aware, globally minded sons who we feel confident will at some point when they're ready continue to help build the company around the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. That was phenomenal, right? Like never giving up, being persistent, and then bringing your family also together and working on the North Star on your goal, right? And I truly believe, in fact, I met you and your husband also in the Bangalore and Delhi. I loved his energy and everything. And Johnny, one of the most important decisions in life is having the true life partner, right? For all the single people, like what is the advice you'll tell, as even the billionaire Charlie Munger tells, one of the most important decisions in life is having the the right life partner? How can one basically find them?
Well, it in our case, and I think I've heard other people say this too, it's find your life partner doing what you love to do. So people often ask us, what do you do for pleasure? And our response is our work is our pleasure because it's fun. It's, sometimes it's stressful because anything dealing with money and economies and global issues can be stressful. But when you love your work, uh, and that's where you are most of the time, you're going to find like-minded people right there where you're at. So I recommend to even my girls, uh, tens of thousands of them around the world, just, don't go to bars. I wouldn't even use dating apps. I would just immerse myself in things I love to do because that's where you're going to meet people who also are doing those things you love to do. And in my estimation, that's the best place to meet a mate. You have something in common. You have something you can do together. You have something you both love to do. And those people who, in our case, work together and play together, stay together.
Absolutely love that, right? Like light poles attract each other, right? It's like based on our work instead of going to bar or like some dating, it's like not the best approach, right? Based on our work, do the work, become the better version of yourself, like you attract like a magnet. Love
Right.
that.
So there's some more to that, though. A little bit of advice I'll just throw in there. So obviously we're husband and wife at home, and then we're co-workers at work. And so I'm the CEO, I'm the founder and the CEO of the company and the chairman of the board. He is the chief strategy officer. We had to find a title for him that would allow him to kind of segue in and out of different departments and work on futuristic programs and strategy for the future and growth that would not necessarily interfere with the things that the CEO would need to do or the reporting responsibilities of the CEO. So we have rules at home. I take care of all household matters, but we make travel decisions together, vacation decisions together. But in reality, he makes most of those decisions because I'm fine with him. Um, he manages our money better than I do, so he's in charge of that with the groups of people that he works with. And all those kind of technical type of skills I leave to him because we know he's better at it. So, and he's happy to do it. At work, though, uh, decisions are made based on title. Usually, all of our executives make decisions together because we're making decisions as a group that's best for the company, right? Best for the company, best for our distributors. But when it comes to issues that are complicated, and maybe there is two trains of thought, or there's a tie decision, then those decisions are made based upon title. And then if that title, like if it goes all the way up to the CEO and a decision has to be made, once I make that decision, everybody has to abide by that decision. But if decisions can be made below that, then of course those decisions are made based upon their skills, like operations. Our chief operational officer makes most of those decisions. Our marketing officers make our marketing decisions. But if there's something that they can't decide upon, and then it goes to me or my husband, based upon how complicated it is, that decision is made, again, based upon the hierarchy. And that's just about the only way we use the hierarchy, because we really truly appreciate and gravitate towards hiring people who have the same heart that we do. They have the same approach to working. They're willing to do the work. They get in there, they get their hands dirty. They're there every single day. There's no ivory towers in our company. and we discuss what our issues are very openly and amongst all the department heads. And in that way, I think you can run an efficient organization. It's more like combined leadership and a network of leadership throughout the company. And at home, there is more of a traditional male, female, husband, wife structure. And we found that that works for us, and it has worked beautifully for over 25 years.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's like alone, if we go, we'll only go to a certain point. Together, if we go, we can go far. I just love that. And Johnny, what will be the tips like you will give to the young women or like even men also, how to look young, right? Like you have run one of the biggest cosmetic companies in the world. What advice will tell how to look young?
Get plenty of sleep, which is hard to do when you're working so many hours. But I will tell you, Ashay, that during COVID, I actually learned to sleep. I made myself learn to sleep like 6, 7, 8 hours at a time, which I think it just gives you a whole new level of energy that you didn't know. My husband and I are huge proponents of good health, and I have a laundry list of nutrition that I take every single day. We eat well, we eat healthy, we eat organic whenever possible. We, of course, are not, I will say I have a cocktail from time to time, but we don't abuse any kind of substance, including alcohol, that just kills your brain cells and kills your skin cells, and is obviously just not good for you. And we exercise. So we're very interested in longevity, and have been for, gosh, my entire adult life.
Wow.
Today is my birthday, by the way.
Wow,
Yes,
congratulations. I want to wish you very, very happy birthday, and everyone do wish Johnny a very happy birthday.
thank you. I'm 67 today.
Amazing.
And I assume that I was just thinking about this morning over my morning coffee. I have about 45 years left. I think, my longevity will last well into around 110, 115, based upon my health and my, body strength and muscle tone and all the things. We get checkups at least twice a year, and we have blood work done at least once a quarter, just to make sure that everything is on track and there are no issues. So I think you have to make time to spend time and attention on what is going on in your body, so that in the event there is something that is not going well, you have plenty of time to correct it or see to professional help to make sure that you're living a much longer, healthier life. So it's not something you can talk about, it's something you actually have to do every day. It's like cleansing your skin and moisturizing your skin every day. I honestly don't think that I have missed more than 5 evenings before bed, and this could be because of travel, where that I have removed my color cosmetics and cleansed and moisturized my skin for the night, and so that my skin can refresh and heal from the day's damage, since I was 20 years old.
Wow.
So
Now that
the
consistency.
right consistency, and the only time that really shows up is when it counts, when you can't recoup that time because all those years have passed. It's the same thing as working out and keeping proper bone density and muscle content. It's going to show up eventually. It's not taking care of your skin is going to show up eventually. And again, once it shows up, it's very difficult to correct it. So it's like being an entrepreneur. Ultimately, your life's work is going to culminate into something that shows up. Like my life today is an example of all the work that's been done up to this point. Same for my skin, same for my body health. It's all going to culminate and show up to be what it is based upon what those habits have been all these decades.
Absolutely.
You can't
Health is
hide
the
from it.
ultimate wealth. Hmm.
You cannot hide from it. And we all know famous characters, that we've known and loved, like Steve Jobs, who, wish they would have taken a different track, wish they would have paid more attention here or there, and only to, leave us with warnings about what happens if you don't. So you've got to do it. It's not just something you can think about.
100%. And Johnny, that was incredible, right? Like the longevity, having the right sleep, having the right nutrition, avoiding the junk food, all those things, and taking care of the skin, moisturizing before we sleep, taking care of our body. It's like so important. Most people neglect, and I truly believe everybody has to apply like the right creams, the sunscreen before going in the sun and all those things, right? So that they can look young. Every man likes to watch a woman who looks beautiful, right? And who wants to be with someone who is hygienic and everything. It's like so important. And Johnny, tell us about like how was your experience at the Peters Platinum event, right? I believe you and your husband also were part of it, where some of the most incredible people like Tony Robbins, Elon Musk, all of them shared their insights. How was your interaction with all of these thought leaders?
I have to pinch myself. Every time I get around you and those men and, President Trump and, all the movers and shakers, I just have to pinch myself thinking, is this real? These people are so brilliant. They've helped so many people around the world. They're doing such great things that I basically sit in awe of everyone. I think that I'm just always so amazed by how people are given gifts, such diverse gifts. And these people with these gifts, diverse gifts, can all come together and try to help one another uh, complete ideas or concepts that will add to the benefit of the whole all over the world. And yet they're all so very different. I'm so impressed that Elon Musk, with his what we used to think was a learning disability, is making a massive impact to humanity, and how that now thought of the way that he learns and communicates in a different way from most people is becoming very globally accepted and even honored, and we're finding ways for individuals who think like that, communicate like that, to express themselves better, because we're realizing the brilliance of it. And I just love that. It just adds for greater acceptance around the world in the differences in communication and learning styles, and uh, the gifts that people have. I personally do not have a high IQ, and everyone else in my family does. I am honestly the one with the lowest IQ in my family, but my gifts are not necessarily correlated with my IQ. I have a different kind of gift set to offer, and it's the brilliance of other people around me who can understand how to take those gifts and help make them even better and bigger than what I could have perceived. And I think that is the brilliance of Peter's group, the Peterverse, in that it helps bring a lot of people together like that, so they can play off one another and continue to bring solutions to humanity.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, right? Like connections and timing is one of the most important things, right? It's not the IQ or the knowledge. If we are in the right room with the right people, everything happens, right? Love that. And Johnny, what advice you will tell to the people who are having shy, who are underconfident, who doesn't want to come out of the comfort zone? When I tell them go out there, start interacting with people, start coming on podcast, right? It's one of the greatest way to leverage, connect. You are right now in USA, I'm right now in India. We are able to communicate, right? Why it is important for one to come out of the comfort zone and start interacting, start something like a podcast, post a video on social media.
Well, the interesting thing is, I'm shy too. I'm very shy. Now, there's a difference between being shy socially and being passionate about your business. So, in real life, in normal life, my husband is very outgoing and I am not. If we were to go to a party, he would be the one telling stories, people are laughing, he's socializing, and I'm either hanging on his arm or I'm sitting down having a quiet conversation with one person in the corner. I mean, that's me. But in this case, we're talking about business. We're talking about creation. We're talking about ideas as it applies to business, as it applies to helping others. Uh, don't be shy about that. When you have an idea and a passion, follow your passion. It, I think we have to learn about our temperament in our personal lives versus what we as entrepreneurs need to do to grow a business. So you tell me that I have to do something impossible, like, you know, fly to Washington, D.C. and talk to Trump, which in my personal life, I would never want to do because I'm too shy. In my business life, I know I need to do that. So do it because it's good for your business. It's good for the cause. It's good for humanity. So that's how I teach my girls to go about and do their business. Put your personal life over here and put your business life over here. And then as a good executive, do what you need to do, what you know you need to do to build your business as an executive. And then in that way, you'll create plenty of courage to do the job and get the job done.
Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. It's all about if we if it is adding value to our goal, like we have to do it, even the uncomfortable things, right? And that is what can help us to get the success. As you were like also shy, you were like, should I meet the Trump or not? But for your business, if you have to grow and like expand to like more people, like you have to meet, you have to go there, right? Yeah, I just love that. And I believe everybody has to take the action, right, to create a huge impact.
And for
And
example, I met you as a result of the exact same thing happening. So we were in India with my youngest son working with Machani on the robots, right, as an internship for the summer, our 16-year-old son. And then Naveed said, asked me if I would speak. And under normal circumstances, I would say absolutely not. But we were there, of course, learning more about India to expand our company into India. And that was the perfect opportunity to meet more people for that reason. And that is the only reason that I got up on stage and made that presentation and did it 3 times during that whole cycle. So, you know, when you take advantage of the situations that are offered to you and you do the work, we call it do the do, then that doing will lead you to the next step that will help you ultimately succeed. And I have no doubt that we will soon be in India.
wow, wonderful. I would love to bring you, host you, and bring you on like more podcasts and more opportunities to share your message as you have impacted so many people lives. And Joni, the next question what I have is like, as you have helped hundreds and millions of products, like you have sold online, like you have disrupted the entire industry and everything, right? Now, my
Yes.
question is like, imagine there is a SaaS founder, like a software as a service, he's helping somebody where they are solving like 10 problems, like a website building, WhatsApp automation, SMS, CRM, and everything. How can they get the next 100 to like next 1,000 customers? What is the strategy like you will tell them?
Start with 10 people you know, face to face. Tell those 10 people to start with 10 people they know. So how many is that?
100,
And then tell those people to start with 10 people they know. How many is
1,000,
that?
1,000.
There you go. Now you have some volume, some sales volume coming in that creates a pretty consistent cash flow. And then you find, probably call you and find in India, if we're in India, who can I talk to who can help me create this software, this program? I'm sure there's already programs written that you can start
Yes,
for very
absolutely.
little money in today's world. And you can put everything you did online. But if you don't have the cash, don't worry about being online until you have a little bit of cash flow. And it all starts with people. Face to face people, connections, friends. And if you can get from 10 to 10 to 10, you've got a winning product or service to sell.
Absolutely fantastic advice. Start one step at a time. First bring the 10 people, then 100 people, then 1,000 and everything.
That's right.
Absolutely love that. And Johnny, like what advice like you will tell for the young people why it is so important to master like sales, psychology and like persuasion and become good at like presentation skill? How much unfair advantage they will be able to get if they master like sales and persuasion?
Well, as we know today, everything's about presentation because there's so much competition. And if I were starting over again, I would probably go into marketing and communications. Because if you can properly communicate and market whatever it is, product, service that you are representing, more than likely you're going to be ahead of the pack. Uh, and again, it's all about communication, information, training, teaching. So it's all communication, whether you're doing it online or in person. That's how important it is. That's where the competition is.
Absolutely love that. And Johnny, when it comes down to giving a good presentation talk, I believe like you have spoken in like hundreds and thousands of people in front of so many people. How can we connect with the audience, right? Like how to create the trust in the least possible time, what we have to do so that people can trust you because of your trust only you were able to grow so rapidly across the world, right?
Well, I think of course trust comes from believability and having a pleasant personality, those basics. But I think as you're talking to others, telling personal stories that others might be able to relate to is important. And I think the more personal stories that are relatable, the more trust that you gain from others, as long as they're not, awful stories, as long as they're pleasing stories that more than likely other people have. Like, for instance, being poor and starting a business. I would say most people around the world are in that situation. That makes it relatable. So if you have anything in your life where that you can just draw out the little details that maybe you don't think are important, others will think they're important. And those kind of stories are what will make you relatable and maybe even memorable, in that you can help someone by that story. For instance, when I tell the story that I was a single mother and had no money, living with a girlfriend, but I just kept doing it, starting really small. I know that the women that I train can completely relate to that because a lot of women are in that boat. A lot of women are in the same situations where that their husbands don't want to support them growing a business out of their home because it might take too much time away. Do a little bit in your home when it doesn't take time away. Maybe when he's gone, he won't even notice that you're spending a little time in a business and you're able to now start making little money to contribute to the family. Lots and lots of people are in that same boat. So it's important to give yourself a little grace and get some experience as well. I mean, it's hard for a 18-year-old or a 20-year-old to have these kind of life experiences. So don't think that right out the gate you're going to have these experiences that are relatable to a lot of other people. You might, I'm not saying you won't, but you do have to allow yourself grace to get some experience underneath your belt.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. Like experience is like one of the biggest learning, right? Like as we grow, we become better and better. And Johnny, for all the people who are watching, if they want to become part of the your team, right? What are the key skills like you see in a person before hiring them in your company, in your organization?
In our company, as an employee, because we do have corporate employees, they have to have well, they have to have people skills for sure. And then, you know, we're like any other corporation in that we have accounting people, we have IT people, we have social media people, we have public relations, we have attorneys. So we're, you know, we hire career people. For our distributors, of which we have tens of thousands of distributors around the globe, uh, we everyone succeeds. I mean, we have very outgoing personalities that are social influencers who have 500,000 or 1 million followers and who have videos or postings and reels that go viral talking about our products. And we also have the woman down the street who's very shy, who only sells to her girlfriends and her mother and her colleagues at work. So there's no one type of personality that succeeds in our company as a distributor. It takes all kinds to make human connections at every level. And for those people, we have products that really work. They can sell to others because they have great value, and you don't have to learn a bunch of mumbo jumbo psychoanalytic sales techniques. It's just like, here, put this on, you're going to love it. It really works. So they can sell it. And then, of course, it gets more sophisticated as an influencer with millions of followers and all the posting and all the things that they do to maintain their status.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. Like having the right good ethics, like the good communication skills and like showing up, right? And that's one of the most important skills like you look up to. Amazing. And Johnny, as I still remember your talk when you came to India, exponential organization, which in fact Peter Diamandis and Salim also tells, right? After like COVID, how did you pivot your company and apply the 6D framework? Can you tell all audience what exactly it is and how you applied in order to have an exponential growth?
Well, the good news was before COVID, we had just we began to communicate on social media through Facebook, of course, when TikTok came along, Instagram. And so our girls who were out selling products at trade shows or at demos, home demos, all of a sudden, we already had a good customer base. But then all of a sudden, everyone stayed at home and went to their computers. They went to their phones. They went to the social media channels. And so we developed a strategy simply to keep people entertained. Every single week, we would launch a new product, a new color, just so that our girls who were at home had something new and fun to talk about to their customers via all the social media channels. And from there, we just continue to grow exponentially. And through that growth, of course, we were able to take advantage of a new customer base, new opportunities in other countries, and expand our existing system to those countries. It's kind of like cut and paste. Some other countries we have corporate headquarters in. It depends upon how large the country is. Obviously, in India, we'd establish another corporate headquarters and have many new vendors and third-party companies help us run SeneGence India through all of the regular channels and departments that you would have in any other normal corporation.
Absolutely, absolutely love that. And Johnny, now I'm going to ask you like rapid round questions. Are you ready for it? Like one-liner questions?
Let's see how it goes.
Awesome. What are your top three favorite books which you will recommend to everyone to read?
I would say, gosh, I have one right here that I just love. This is Beyond Entrepreneurship, BE 2.0.
Wonderful.
Here's another one, The Game of Work by Charles Kuhnrat, who happens to be a wonderful business mentor. And then my book, Million Dollar Lips.
Absolutely amazing. Tell us about your book, the $1 million book, right? What does it mean exactly to all the audience and
It's
how
real.
they can grab the book? Is it available on Amazon?
It is available, and it's really a how-to book for women. How to get in the mindset of an entrepreneur, how to get your home ready, how to get yourself ready, how to prioritize your family. So it's a really great beginner's entrepreneurial book, how to, with lots of personal stories peppered through.
Absolutely. Love that. Amazing. And Johnny, if you were to appreciate or tell us about your top three mentors, right? Who helped you to come where you are today, right now? Oh, wow. Amazing.
There's $1 million
Guys,
book. My
do
top three
grab the book.
mentors. Number one, my father, Jerry Height, who has passed. Number two, Mary Kay Ash, who has also passed. And number three, I would have to say Tony Robbins.
Wonderful, wonderful. Love that. And Johnny, do you have any future plans to like come to India if I host an event in Bengaluru and bring you as a speaker? Would you be excited to come and share your knowledge at a physical event?
If I can work it into my schedule, absolutely. We do have plans to expand into India. We have a few things here that we need to complete before we really jump into India expansion. But it's definitely on the list of things to get done and will within the imminent few years, for sure.
Absolutely. Love that. And Johnny, what is the secret for your energy, right? Do you drink like a boost or a complan? Or like how do you get so much energy, right? Like with so much of optimism.
Well, every morning is a new day. I have new opportunities like right now talking to you. It's just fun. It's fun for me. So who wouldn't love waking up every day, putting your makeup on, not, you don't have to do it real fancy, just business-like makeup, and look forward to a packed schedule because every single appointment, every single day is different and brings about new, exciting thoughts or concepts or opportunities. Now, that's exciting.
Absolutely. That was phenomenal. Thank you so much, Joni, for sharing so much incredible wisdom with all of us at the Real Knowledge Club, sharing us a $1 billion company like Blueprint, the mindset, the skill set, the tool set, and everything. And do you have any questions for me and like the audience, right? Like you want to tell or like share with everyone?
I just want to make sure that you send me an invitation next time you have a gathering, and if I can work it into my schedule, I'll be there.
Absolutely. That was wonderful. And once again, thank you so much, Johnny. And I want to wish you once again a very happy birthday.
Thank
Right?
you.
That means like so awesome. I'm one of the first meeting I think so today, meeting you at the morning 9 a.m. Eastern time. And finally, one last advice, what you want to tell to everyone before like we conclude, Johnny, to everyone at the Real Knowledge Club from India and America and everywhere in the world, whoever is watching.
I know you've heard it often, but it is follow your passion.
Absolutely. Thank you, Johnny, and thank you everyone for watching and staying until here. Do like the video, do share it with your friend, tag your friend. Let's make a world a better place to live. Entrepreneurs are the change makers. You have to take action, the initiative, and everything. Okay. And thank you everyone for watching, and have a great day, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
By now, you must have understood in order to reach the goal, you must have the right systems and processes. If you're like a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, and you want to have a system in place, like a proper funnel, landing page, like webinar, and want to make the webinar even more persuasive, like you need a persuasive script, and you need an LMS, learning management system, to launch, like put out your course, like a proper system and a community and everything, like with right WhatsApp automation, CRM, and everything. And what you can do is like you can book a call with us in the link in the description, me or my team. You can connect with us on a discovery call, and we'll understand where you are right now and where you want to be, and we'll tell you exactly how we can help you out, or if not, we can redirect you to some other source, right? With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the podcast. Bye bye.